Hi again. Ray Franz continues his perspective on life in the Watchtower. Few of them, that is, Jehovah's Witnesses, have ever confronted the issues dealt with in this book, the challenge of conscience, or to conscience, they raise. I incline to believe that many, perhaps most, would prefer not to face them. Some have personally expressed their feeling to me that they enjoy their friendships within the organization and would not want to see these disturbed. I also enjoyed mine and had no desire to see them disturbed. I felt and still feel affection for the people with whom I spent most of my life. But I also felt that there were issues of truth and honesty, of fairness and justice, of love and mercy that were bigger than those friendships and my enjoyment of them. By this I'm not saying that I think that anyone should precipitate difficulty, seek or force a confrontation that is unnecessary. I can sympathize wholeheartedly with those who are of families composed of Jehovah's Witnesses and who know full well the wrenching effect it could have on family relationships if the members were called upon to treat a son or daughter, a brother or sister, father or mother as an apostate, a God-rejected, spiritually unclean person. I have never encouraged anyone to precipitate such a situation. I tried to avoid precipitating it in my own case. But given the present climate in the organization, it is becoming increasingly difficult to avoid this without compromising conscience, without acting a part, pretending to believe that what one may not believe, what one may actually believe to be a perversion of the Word of God, producing unchristian fruitage, hurtful results. I know a number of persons who have tried to withdraw quietly, and some who are, in a sense, in hiding. Persons who have actually gone to the extent of moving to another area and who have sought to keep their whereabouts unknown organizationally so as to avoid harassment. I could cite case after case where, despite all efforts at avoiding confrontation, elders have sought the persons out, their only concern apparently being to extract from them some statement of their position, not toward God, Christ, or the Bible, but toward the organization. If the persons fail in this loyalty test, presented as a clear ultimatum, they are almost always disfellowshipped, cut off from friends and family if these are members of the organization. Typical is the recent experience of one young woman, a wife and mother, in southern Michigan. She had been interrogated by the elders because of her doubts about certain teachings and had been so emotionally affected by the experience that she had withdrawn from attending meetings. After some months, a phone call came from the elders requesting that she meet with them again. She said she did not want to undergo that experience again. They urged her to do it, saying that they wanted to help her with her doubts, and that this would be the last time they would ask her to meet with them. Her husband, not a witness, recommended that she go and have it over with. She went. As she said, within the first 10 minutes I could see the direction they were taking. Half an hour from the start of their questioning, they had disfellowshipped her. She says the time factor alone stunned her. As she put it, I couldn't believe they were doing this. I sat there the whole time sobbing, and within 30 minutes they had kicked me out of the kingdom. I would have thought they would have got down on the floor with tears in their eyes, pleading with me for hours to prevent that from happening. One of the 5 elders, a man who dozed off during the discussion, later said in her hearing, the nerve of that woman to say that she wasn't sure if this was God's organization or not. If efforts to avoid the unwanted confrontation fail, I think there is consolation in knowing that the reason for any family distress and heartache rests on one side only. It is fully and entirely the fruitage of an organizational policy, one that is backed by the threat of expulsion for anyone who does not comply with the policy, anyone who fails to treat disassociated or disfellowship persons, no matter how sincere and devoted one may know them to be, as though they were rejected by God. The religious intolerance that acts as the divisive force, destructive of family oneness and affection, is not mutual, therefore. As in Jesus' day, it comes from one side, one source, a source that equates conscientious disagreement with disloyalty. There is where the real responsibility for the emotional hurt and distress ultimately rests. In the next segment, J.W. Org's chosen people syndrome. Can God exist without a temple?